So anyway, you want to go talk to this guy with the fishing hat right here. He'll give you some cool, one of the more important items in the game, especially if you want to complete your Pokedex, the Old Rod. Now, the Old Rod is good for finding Phoebus, which I'll go over when we get to the route where Phoebus is, because catching this thing is a nightmare, and I've never actually done it myself. But basically, fishing with any rod goes like this, and I do show off how to do it in this video. Well, actually really soon after I talk to this stupid lady. You go by the water, you select your fishing rod, and then you fish. And just like in real life, it involves a lot of staring at the screen waiting for something to happen. Invigorating! But hey, at least you're not using a plastic remote add-on piece of shit. Anyway, yeah, for some reason Ruby and Sapphire take a whole lot longer to catch anything for fishing. I don't know why, it's just a little bit problematic. I don't know, I don't fish a lot anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, with the Old Rod, generally all you catch are Magikarp. And Magikarp, as you all know, are useless. I didn't mean to... Now, Magikarp, hit him with a splash attack. Fool, my Magikarp is immune to other Magikarp's splash attacks. Yeah, Magikarp are pretty freaking pathetic. I'd recommend getting a Gyarados, but don't bother getting a Magikarp this early in the game, because it's a bitch to train. I'd recommend, if you can, getting a Magikarp at least level 15 if you want a Gyarados. Because Gyarados is a good Pokemon, I'm not going to lie, but Magikarp, it's just laughably pathetic, and its whole point is to be laughably pathetic so that when it evolves into this awesome Gyarados, you're like, holy crap. But since it's been around that long, that sort of shock value has sort of run dry. Now you want to go in here. This kid to the left doesn't really do anything. He just tells you a little bit about Brawly, who's the gym leader, who I don't fight in these videos, but I'll fight when I record next. But this guy to the right gives you the Silk Scarf. It's pretty much a miracle seed for normal type attacks. I won't be getting much use for it since I don't have a normal type Pokemon, but it's a nice item to have, and I'd recommend getting it just so that you have options. Now if you go up, basically, this is the tasty life, or there is the catchphrase of Dewford Town. You can change this as much as you want, and it doesn't really do anything other than change what everybody says. But the thing about it is that it also changes where Phoebus is when we get to it. For some reason, I don't know. It's weird, but basically, if you're having trouble finding Phoebus, you can just reset the entire thing by changing the name at Dewford Town. I'm pretty sure each one has a specific set of squares for Phoebus, but I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, that guy talks about going to the bathroom. I'm just fighting these guys for experience. I cut out the battles. But anyway, over there's a Pokeball. Hooray. You probably don't need Pokeballs anymore since you found so many. Well, whatever. You don't need to fight either of these. I just do it for experience. Now, you want to go in here and talk to this guy. He is not a trainer, despite how he looks. So anyway, you know that Steven's in this cave, but you need Flash to see it. He gives you the Flash HM. Nice guy, actually. Giving a random stranger an HM. But you can't use it yet because you need the gym badge from the Dewford gym, so we're gonna have to go backtrack all the way back and fight him. I'd recommend training in the cave if you're under leveled, but we're about the right level for this gym, and there are pretty strong trainers who you can train against. Now the gym is dark. That's the gimmick of the gym, that you can't see where you're going, and technically you can. But if you fight trainers, you can see where you're going, and thus avoid fighting more trainers. I just fight all of them just for experience, as I said, because I've only got 2 Pokemon right now, so I need them to be as high leveled as possible. But I cut out all of the fights except for one, because, at this point I don't think we've had a real battle in this section of the video, so I figured I might as well give you one since I don't fight the gym leader. See, since we beat that trainer, our circle of vision has grown larger. The Flash HM works a little bit differently in this game than it does in other games. It gives you a giant circle as opposed to lighting the entire screen, because there were glitches that could get around the old Flash. So anyway, yeah, see, here's another person. I fight them off screen, and seeing as I won, the screen gets bigger. And so, this is the last trainer in the gym, so I decided that I'd just show the fight to you guys. And it's also good because you're going to want to fight these guys. It'll give you a nice sense to see how you should fight the trainers in the area. So this is a fighting type gym, meaning that they use fighting type Pokemon. If you've got a normal type, you're kind of screwed for this because fighting types are strong against normal types. They've got meta type, which are psychic fighting. So if you've got a psychic type like I do for fighting types, fighting types, you're gonna be a little bit screwed since you're only gonna do normal damage with psychic type attacks as opposed to double. But generally, meta types are frail enough that it won't be that bad. However, they can be strong, very strong actually. So just watch out for that. Generally, the trainers are under-leveled enough so that if you've got Pokemon around my level, you'll be able to make it through okay. Meditate is pretty much Howl. It increases the attack, well, they're going to spend a few turns buffing up their stats like this, so you're going to want to use that time to knock them out, because if they've got a bloated attack, they're going to own you. And level up for Nairman. Yay! Now he's trying to learn Pursuit. Pursuit is an attack that goes first always, and does a decent amount of damage. But if you actually get the trainer on the turn where he's switching out, he does a whole lot more damage, which is very useful for link battles, but not really that useful in game. But it's better than what I have for better than Leer, so I just deleted it for Leer. Now we've got Solaris going out, and they're sending out another Meditite. I don't get why these trainers have so many of the same Pokemon, but whatever. See, he's using Confusion on me, and it's only going to do half damage, which isn't a lot. But I'm going to do Confusion on him, and normally, if it was just a fighting type, I'd do double damage for it being super effective. But since it's also part Psychic type, it's normal effective. That's how dual types sort of work. You can counteract weaknesses, but you can also double up weaknesses. For example, if you've got a water flying type, say Mantine or Pelipper, and you use an electric type on it, it'll be 4 times effective, which is no good. So learning the type combo chart thing would be very useful. Very, very, very useful. I'd recommend memorizing the entire thing. It's not that hard. So anyway, this Meditite is done. Thank God. And now we've got... So Solaris gained a decent number of experience. And now he's going to send out a Machop. It got kind of cut off in this lag fest that is my video. But anyway, yeah. So if you've got a Psychic or Flying type, I'd recommend this is going to be easy. If you've got a Torchic, if you pick that, you should evolve it to a Combuskin by this point because it learns Peck, and that's very useful. Or if you caught a Tailo, that's also very useful. Or if you have a Ralts like me, or an Abra, you should be able to get through this gym relatively easily. I know this fight is kind of a bore, but we haven't had one in a while, so I thought I should show one. And there's another reason why I wanted to show it. As you remember, Nairman grew to level 16 in this video, so... What? Nairman is evolving! And it's a lag fest, of course. So yes, once Pokemon have reached a certain level, they can evolve, which makes them into a more powerful form of their previous one. So Trico evolves into Grotile, which is pretty much Trico but with better moves. So I'd recommend evolving. There are some reasons not to evolve, like for example, if you've got a Pokemon that only learns moves in its unevolved state. The best example of this is Shroomish. It can evolve into Breloom in level 20-something, but it learns Spore, the best sleep-inducing move in the game, at level 40. So I'd recommend holding off evolving a Shroomish until level 40. If you're going for competitive battling anyway, I wouldn't recommend holding off if you're just doing an in-game type of thing because it's not worth it in-game. But anyway, yeah, that's the last trainer, and now we've got a leveled up Pokemon, which is awesome. But, done. There's Brawly. We're not going to actually fight him in this video because I don't have enough time, and I was recording for nearly an hour by this point, and I didn't want to lose anything. So we're just going to save the game and fight him next time. This has been ExandShadow. I'll see you guys later. Bye now.